Siasa wakimano na buy nini maji. Like all the nini you see hapo, they have a terrible sewer system. They have a terrible maji system. So who's really rich? Na Dandora sai yakunanga maji na kosa. And actually the last time maji ilikuwa nakosa ni when we were young.
Wow. Yeah. Today we are shifting mentality and how we think, because to be honest, I never
Nobody
thought that
in Kenya is rich.
Nobody in Kenya is rich?
Nobody in Kenya. As long as somebody can come and tamper with your life,
yeah,
and you can do nothing about it, you're not rich.
Get ready for the Truth Talk, where we tackle life's most pressing issues. Join us as we explore universal challenges and seek solutions that transcend borders.
Hi, this is your girl Lisa Mwangi on the Truth Talk, the show where you long for it, where you just sit down, you listen, you get to learn, and you get blessed. And today I have one of our own. Oh, I'm so excited. Julius Owino, famously known as Juliani, in the house on the Truth Talk. I'm so excited. You know, you must be the first Kenyan hip-hop gospel artist. How does it feel to be the first person who did a hip-hop that was gospel?
Was I the first? Okay, I was, the way I did it was different. So there was a lot of hip-hop artists previously.
Before?
Yeah, but...
that did gospel?
Yeah. But the difference maybe is the way I packaged my music.
All
it was
right.
based on the truth and what's happening.
Yes.
And a person's wrestle with God daily lives. So my music was Monday to Saturday kind of music and not a Sunday kind of music. So that's the difference. Others could a lot of hip-hop artists.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kai, you haven't won so many, various multiple awards, Groove Awards.
When I was young, yeah.
So now you're old.
Yeah, so I mean him there.
But to us, I think, Julian, you don't change. You just look the same. This humble guy. Okay, what's the unique? Why are you special?
Okay, I don't know about special, but I know because if someone knows, personally I know my source. I know the person who brought me here. I know my conviction. I know what matters. I know what I've been called for. So that's to have that implanted in your heart. It's an honor. So it's not your own geniusness and your owness and how good you are. It's somebody who did that and God really planted of the soul. Your gift naona ni kama ni privilege. So kazi yangu tu ni kumake sure nimeikuza and make sure it grows and it becomes something beyond me.
Yes.
So I can't claim much about who I am and where I am.
Yeah, you've not changed. I think since day one when we got to know Julian, and now that I met Julian.
Nilikuwa nimenona kidogo ndio kimi. Sasa nimekonda.
Sasa umekonda ni pressure ama?
Ni kujitekea tu.
All right. I know there's a group of family who are trying to look at this. I'm like, okay, who is this? Okay, do you mind giving us your own intro? Who are you?
Yes. So, people know me as a musician, hip-hop artist, entrepreneur. As an fellow. I try things here and there. So I can only tell you what I like and don't like, and then ojijazie who I am, But because I can't say, because everything that we are accumulation of the definitions that tumepewa over the years.
Yes.
So kwa one of my songs inaitwa Locks to My Socks nasema mimi ni mzuri ama mbaya inadepend nani unauliza. So some people kiuliza mimi ni msempoa sana naenda heaven. Watu wengine ukiuliza ni the opposite. So we are an accumulation of our experiences and people's experiences with us Nona. But if you ask me yani mimi ni mwana wa Mungu.
Mwana wa Mungu.
That's the simplest.
Yes. So Mta, where were you born?
I was born in Dandora. Actually, I was born in Garissa.
Garissa.
And then we moved to Mathare, and then I grew up in Dandora.
Wow.
Yeah, so Dandora all my life until I was actually until nimaliza high school, all my life nimeishi Dandora.
Dandora. Why? Which phase?
Phase 4.
Phase 4. Wow. Hey, I'm too excited. At least just to hear that term, because I'm one person who is really, really proud of where I came from and where I was born. Being a Kiamaiko girl, I'm too excited sitting with somebody like you. Of course, talking about D. Dandot.
But Kiamako pia iko pati pazuri sana tu. Kiamako ilikuwa na
msituchome. Yeah. I know, but at least it's a good hub, and actually it may produce very, very, very great people. Very great people. Yeah, I'm one of them. I'm one of those great people. So I'm excited, you know. And this is what I always want to tell people: don't let where you were born define you. You know, that's just where you were born, and actually God chooses where you get to be born, but He knows also your future and where you're going. So Juliani, you're one person who has a big voice when it comes to the youths. So do you think that the youth have got the privilege, especially in Kenya, to be who they want to be?
Yeah, now more than ever.
Now?
Now more than ever. Sisi, when we were starting out, and I'm really old actually, so Siati, when we were starting out, actually I'm your generation a little bit privileged kidogo, because now our parents were starting to open up to other possibilities, where you just because you're good at school doesn't mean you can't be good at other things.
Yes.
Or because you're not good at school doesn't mean you're not good at other things. So up until I'm in that generation where our parents were a little bit more educated, so now they were exposed to how the world works. So yeah, so from that generation and many millennials, so in Amanisha, going up, our parents are a little bit more encouraging. Of course, Kunala was strict, simply because, of course, education, for example, is if you figure out your education, it means you can interpret yourself. You can interpret life, you can communicate. So education still migrates to that. Or it means if you go through a school system here 4 years, in Amanisha, you can be reliable as a person. So it's what it can tell than what it is. So yes, this generation is want to get the best out of what started earlier. Yeah. So yes, young people are more...
They're getting more privileges.
Yes.
So they shouldn't blame the government.
Our government lazima blame you're calling, like it's a rite of passage. Yeah, because everything is systematic.
Yeah.
So we have to, as much as we are in a good place as a country and as a people, maybe we can be, we tungekuwa at a better place than where we are.
Yes.
If people who are elected would have done what they're supposed to do. So from the Moi's time, and I told you this earlier, from the Moi's time to Kibaki, okay, but actually I can say from Kenyatta's time, our leaders have been selfish. They have been using their position to amass wealth, to keep us poor, because when you are poor, then you're easily taken advantage of. Yet they had the possibility of actually elevating their people's lives. So instead they chose to play siasa, make decisions that are not beneficial to everybody else. So yes, most of the problem we go through right now as a country is not that we don't have the brightest people in the world. It doesn't mean that we are not driven or we are not innovative. It just means that there's a ceiling imewekwa and it's systematic. And that systematic is what led to young people coming out and say, actually, things have to change. Yeah, so yes, 90% of my problems in the government, otherwise I'm a hard-working young person. Yeah, and I can succeed in like 2003 in the US for like 6 weeks for a program here as now. And when you meet people and they're so impressed by how we think, how we look at life, and how we want to push our generation forward and stuff like that. But ukiamuku hivi yani unashinga huyu kijana mrasa anatuambia nini, unaona? So those are two distinct ways of looking at so yes, government.
All right. Yeah, you know, we so you took the farm front with the Gen Zs, yeah, and the recent youth protest. Did that make you feel fulfilled? Did you feel fulfilled? Did you feel that at least we've accomplished what we wanted? The goal is now.
Nah, we will never accomplish the goal.
No.
We will never, because until the people are free, the people are not free.
They're not free.
We are not free mentally.
Yes.
We are not free systematically. The people are not yet free. So until the people are free, the good thing, of course, we are on the journey and to go a little bit steps ahead, kidogo.
Yeah.
So we have to appreciate that part of the constitution coming in, and the constitution actually is strong, and everything that a citizen needs and a citizen requires, it go backed up in the constitution. So that's a really good thing for us.
Yes.
But we still need to implement it. So in Amansha, we need the fuel of the people and the fuel of our dreams should be the one pushing us to implement the constitution, but also even dream bigger. So I wasn't fulfilled, and I'm never going to be fulfilled.
Okay.
But I felt honored by God, even to kunipatia hiyo song, na even kunipatia voice ile niko nayo over the years. Like in our industry as a hip hop artist, unafaa 3 years ama 1 or 3 hit songs na watu nakusahau. Unaona, but I've been here since I was 20 years.
Wow. And how does that make you feel?
Yeah.
At least that is fulfilling.
Yeah, that's at least. So that is complaints and so that's really, really fulfilling that I'm still here. I still write music.
Yeah.
I still do stuff that I love. Yeah.
Yeah. Before we go to your music part of it, I know you have a story. I know you might have come from. No, ukutoka kwa mass, alafu uka dive, alafu tukakuona. I know God.
Allegedly.
Exactly. I know God has been faithful, and I know you have a story to tell. So let me give you this space, and I want you just to encourage young people, because I know you have a voice, and I know they will listen to you, and their lives will never remain the same again, because you came to the Truth Talk. Yeah, please. Welcome.
Hiyo ni mtihani.
Ni mtihani kubwa.
So the beautiful thing about where we all grew up is that it gives you raw material to look at life and how you look at life.
Yes.
So it's when we talk about umelelewa ghetto, kuna hiyo connection that ugeto, unajua ugeto ukienda place ka hizi hewa ni safi unashtuka, unaona. But it's a really good raw material for on at least for me it was a good material for my outlook of how I viewed life. So it means you are a little bit more patient with people, because unajua sio kila mtu anajua kuitoa venye nafaa kuitoa. You're patient, you're understanding people.
Yes.
You're forgiving kidogo because you want the same for yourself.
Yeah.
You give people space to do stuff. So growing up in that kind of setting gives you tools to maneuver other worlds in space like that. So I don't see growing up in your place as a bad thing or as a good thing. I just see that it was required. It was a place I needed to be at, to be who I needed to be known. So so after high school, I started pursuing seriously my career in music, and but one of the things that I realized that for you to go to the next level that you need to be at, you need to shed off, add on to what you already had, because you get to wezi leta hii side. Nikaa kuna seflani, some artists, I won't mention their name. Yeah. Kuna siku walienda event na hawakulipwa. So somebody promised to pay them and whatever. Hey, majamaa walibeba mapiano na makeyboard.
They paid themselves.
Wakajipay. You get it. So, but if you need to share that off and say, actually, maybe you can talk to this guy. Maybe you can. Nikuje kesho, let me come kesho.
Yeah.
So those are the things. For you to go to the next level, you need to be observant of yourself learn how to move in different spaces.
Yes, yes.
You know, so that those are the things that I've learned over the years. And also leadership is about, mimi napayuga tu, so kama it makes sense, but leadership is about responsibility. The more responsibilities you take, the better place you are to be trusted with even more.
Yes.
Because leadership is about responsibilities. So it's one of the things I learned over the years where, so now problems don't become problems become an opportunity to be more, you know. So whatever foundation that was built throughout my life has been really good tools that kunisaidia to move around in new worlds that haikuwa familiar na kwangu sana.
Okay.
So I hope it makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So nini ukiwa seko, is that when you realize that you have this gift of?
No, I didn't know I had a gift. Mimi sikuwa na kazi ya kufanya, so nilikuwa natafuta tu kitu ya kufanya. No, so si ati nilikuwa na ati Damascus moment. No, it was just so my classmate, my deskmate was a hip hop artist with a Mau Mau uko fulani. So he was the one rapping more. So but what I enjoyed about is they had a really good community. Because in Dandora it was, you have to be part of something.
Yes.
Either when ni mwizi ama when ni ama when but you have to ama ni mafutubola. You have to have an identity sort of. So I found the way these guys carry themselves was really cool. They were cool, wanaandika ngoma zao, wana behave a certain way. So I was drawn towards that side of things. And then of course I loved poetry.
But you were obedient, eh? Ukuwa mse unachafua seko.
Mimi nilikuwa muoga. I was one of but I realized I was more observant.
No.
So I wasn't an active participant in things going on in
school, in high school.
Nilikuwa passive sana. And initially I thought it was a bad thing. It was a really good thing being passive, because now you become a third party in every space. You become a fly on the wall. You get to see things.
Yes.
You know things that other people might overlook. So I was in my normal nature, I'm a passive individual. Ukiniona hapo utashanga huyu jamani ni mbaya na. So I'm passive, but that's my superpower, yani, being passive.
Wow.
But if it come time ya kudu vitu, I'm really good at implementing things.
Yes, like I saw you perform in one of was it a concert arranged after the protest?
Yeah.
Like I was like, what? And you were like, jump! Oh my God, I'm certain. Wow. All right, continue.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So with music is different. So I get a different, when I'm an artist, I get a different personality, which is it's good for the stage, but hawezi tumia nguvu yote kwa street na watu na hawezi kuna ruka everywhere, but but knowing all those parts of who I am, that's what music did to me. Hip hop, being a hip hop artist.
Wow.
Then I get to recognize these other parts of who, because when you write music, when you perform, there's other parts of you that comes out. When you meet different people.
Yes.
So those are the things I learned by being a musician. That sets me apart from any other person that is not a musician. Okay,
so before we go, najua tukifika part ya music, I know you have a lot to say, yeah. But after high school, how was your life?
Hakuna kitu kilikuwa nakifanyika.
Was it tough? Was it a tough life? Did you? Of course, was it smooth for you?
I've never had a tough life I've never had a tough life.
Aha. All right. So in Superman.
Sijateseka.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of us have never had a tough life. The only thing we've had is a tough environment.
Tough environment.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've never had a tough life.
No.
Because when you grow up in that setting, it's normal. You don't know anything else.
Yes.
So we say Dandora ni mbaya until ulitoka ndo kanaona huku kwetu ni kuchafu kuliko kwingi. So that's how you know. But the truth is, I've never. My parents were hardworking. We'll never miss a meal. They went out of the way to make sure we go to school. Hata kama unasikia shule unaipa shule, unaona. But I've never had a tough life. Na anytime I claim I had a tough life ni kujitakia because mentally you're trying to be something else that you're not. You're not recognizing where you are.
Yes.
And most of us, hata sahi binadamu akisema kuna maisha ngumu, hakuna mtu ana maisha ngumu. Ni mashida amejekelea kwa kichwa na anataka tu kuteseka. Yeah, really? Human beings don't have that. Watu wa Gaza maybe wako na tough life. No, watu wa Gaza wako na tough environment where you're enclosed and you can't move. That's a tough environment. But huko ndani, people still have family, people still have weddings, people still another Kibera, people still make babies, you know. And so it's the environment is the one which is tough, but people don't go through stuff.
All right. Wow.
I hope to kuchanganya, but that's
all right. No. But of course, you have to speak.
Yes, I've never had a tough life. That way, I've been in tough environments.
Yes.
Yeah, but I've never had a tough life as such.
Okay. So, do you believe there are poor people and they are rich and they are?
Yeah, but poverty is manufactured by the governments and the powers that be. Nobody's poor. Poverty is manufactured. Right now, if you go to Hosea, you always get dawa, and yet you pay taxes. So somebody has made your life hard. It's not that you're not working hard to pay your taxes. It's them who have made your life hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
So msiafe kusema I come from a poor community.
Kuna kitu. And I Turkana, and I was in Kilifi, and I was in the other day. But also I've been to Turkana. They have community. Once you have community, and you have a way of doing things, and you have a way of relating with each other, and you have a way of getting resources. The only thing that will make your life harder is when somebody tamper with that way of life. And that's what happens every day. When governments, other forces come and interfere with your life. Like wewe unataka tu kuamka, huyu jamaa alitoka akapiga raundi huko Karura. And then akikaa msia interfere tu na life yake, then that's a difficult life. Otherwise, if nobody tampers with your way of life and how you need to think and your freedom, then you're having and most of the people are like that. The only difference is that governments and people are interfering with their lives. Then people have a tough life.
But because I think, especially here in Kenya, it is visible and you can actually draw a line between the poor and the rich. What do you think we can do?
Even these people, there's nobody who's rich in Kenya. Mko na magari hapa zinasumbua watu na mnapitia mapoto. There's nobody who's rich in Kenya. If you think about it, if you talk about rich, even the politicians are not rich.
All right.
Nobody
that's
rich.
new. That's
Cool.
you know,
because right now they can wake up. You can wake up right now, and the government comes and take andika zapa, puts a red a red inaitwaje cross up. Na kama kuvunje hii. See, that's what they did when they were building all these highways. So you think you have your big house, you're rich, you're not rich. Because the government can come anytime and disrupt your life.
Wow.
As long as there is no freedom, as long as there is no rule of law, nobody is rich. No. In a society, nobody is rich. As long as the government can come and bulldoze their way. Some guys just want to grab this land. So that's the society that we live in. Yeah.
Juliani, I think
just because unakula 3 meals a day, you're rich. Ati mawita bigs. No, you're not rich.
Okay, define rich.
Rich is community. Rich is freedom. Yeah.
It's community and it's freedom.
It's freedom.
And we don't have those things.
We have those things, so we are rich. But not the definition that we use to define it.
Wow.
Because normally, si mimi nimeshinda ndoa, si ndio? And then I want to move and come to Runda ama niende Kilimani. Na Kilimani nilikuwa juzi Kilimani wanatoa maji na zile sijui manini. Na Dandora sasa hivi ukienda haiwezi kosa maji. So who's rich? Siasa wa Kilimani na buy nini maji? Like all the nini you see hapo, they have a terrible sewer system. They have a terrible maji system. So who's really rich? Na Dandora sasa hakunanga maji na kosa. And actually the last time maji ilikuwa nakosa ni when we were young.
Wow.
Yeah.
Today we are shifting mentality and how we think, because to be honest, I never
Nobody
thought
in
that
Kenya is rich.
Nobody in Kenya is rich.
Nobody in Kenya. As long as somebody can come and tamper with your life,
Yeah.
and you can do nothing about it, you're not rich.
You're not rich.
And the reason why we all wanted to be rich is so
Yes.
that we can go above that being tampered with. That's why mse ukigonga gari ya mtu tao kwa barabara atasema, you know who I am?
Yeah.
Ama, do you know who I know? They use that to get out of the system. You know, but the system iko hapo. You can always somebody who knows somebody that you don't know, and somebody who knows somebody bigger than you.
And that's how it functions.
And that's how it functions. So you can never outmoney your way out of a bad system and out of a toxic environment. So hapa Kenya hakuna mtu akona pesa. Wakona mapesa kwa account, but they are not rich.
They're not rich.
We've met. That's the biggest revelation I ever came across when nilimovie side ingine of town. Because what happens that there was a big influx of gated communities. So tunaungana, tuna kaploti, and then tunauka fence. Na hapo kando ni ghetto. So hasa wakijaa mtu sahi waruke fence. See, that's what happened during the post-election violence. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's deep. That's really deep stuff. Where do you get these? Only on that Truth Talk. And we have to sip. Wow. So come to your music career. What really inspired you? Because I know you will have chose to be something else, someone else.
No. I was only good at music, at least at first. I was really, really good at what I did.
Ulikuwa na symptoms za kuwa musicians?
No,
Are there
not
symptoms?
Really. No, the day I wrote a rhyme and it made sense, and I shared with my peers and they really liked it.
Yes.
Because when I was young, I didn't know if I wanted to be ukiuliza sote I want to be a doctor, because everybody, you have to say something, you know. But for me, I didn't know exactly where I feel comfortable and whatever. But when I started doing music, confidence angle changed. I started becoming a different person. But also what I realized that I started learning different things. So I started now enjoying physics, biology, poetry, because now I need material. When I write lyrics, I need material. I need things to talk about and how to talk about them. So now I have to study about climate change. I need to read magazeti kila siku.
Yes.
So the day I knew I could write music, that's when now I pursued it. But it wasn't a passion initially. I just started in high school when I was in Form 2. And then after high school, I pursued it.
Wow. Wow. So immediately after high school is when you started?
No, I started when I was in Form 2.
But ukuwa umeanza kuzinini?
Nilikuwa naandika, trying to find your space and where you're good, because everybody has to have a style as a musician. You have to be different from the next person. So your period ya 2 years ilikuwa tu, na pia uko shule, so you don't know kama ni adolescence na kusumbua ama ni naona. But now when 1 year after high school tu hivi, now I spend more time with the rappers. So now I'm writing more, I'm performing more, and then now nikaamua tu acha ni pursue.
So tell us about your first song that hit.
So I've never had like
and ile song uliduka feel this song, this is it. I know you have lots.
What I can tell is
yes.
What happened is that when I performed and then I see people's reaction, I knew I was on the right direction. So with each song that I released or performed in front of people, and people's reaction gives you like a pathway of what you should pursue more of. So yangu ilikuwa gradual. Sikuwa na ngoma moja ka hit and then all of a sudden mini artist. But there was a song ilikuwa inaitwa Fanya Tena. Fanya Tena was a project called Kilio cha Haki. So we were like a couple of artists from Islands within that project. So one of the songs that I did with 3 other rappers was chosen as a single, and I was the first artist rapping hapo. So that at least iko nacheza the beat, and then the beat now when ukicheza the beat hiyo time wewe umemake it, you know. So
yeah, I remember the beat.
Ukicheza the beat ulikuwa umemake it, so that also opened up my eyes, and then now I started being called for stuff because my verse was a little bit unique from everybody else.
Yeah, because actually your uniqueness, I think that's what it takes. And I know there are so many young people looking at you and listening to you right now. Can you just tell them something? Can you give them some tips? How can they be unique? Because sometimes some things looks uniform. I'm saying I come, okay, I want to do this, but anachapa uniform. So it's something that is not new. So what is the secret? Because you have that kind of uniqueness.
Thinking yangu ni in a billion people in the world, I'm a 7 billion sahi. God chose me to be here now. So inamaanisha there's something about me that he wants here now.
Yes.
So it's an injustice to myself to try to be anybody else. So that's why I told you, all the mistakes I've ever done, all where I grew up, all the successes, ikikam pamoja in one pot becomes me, And that's what makes me unique, my perspective about life and whatever. So I'm always trying to find what's so different, unique about me, and I share it with the world.
And you share with the world.
So that also helped me when I was one of the biggest shifts is knowing that I was enough,
You're enough, that's a good one.
Because every time when you always feel like you are conform to everybody so that everybody feels comfortable.
Yeah.
And yet, so ukiwa kwa table hivi, wewe ni supporter, wewe ni cheerleader, And yet at first of course utastumble and utasema ufala hapo sasa ndio jamaa nini bana. But the more you present yourself as somebody with an opinion or with an outlook, the more you sharpen that. So the day I realized that actually I have something to offer and I'm enough, everything changed.
Wow.
So now I started seeing solutions more.
Yes.
Me being a solution. I'm not afraid of problems, so I stay a little bit longer with the problems. I'm not in a hurry to solve it. So usually being unique means to me at least that my voice in a matter, my perspective matter, my experiences matter.
So it's not about the producer where you go for studio, who you do collab with, who your teachers, your trainees. It's not about that.
That matters. Community matters.
All right.
But at the same time, in a space of 5 people, you have to stand out. And the only way for you to stand out is by testing every idea and everything you have in your mind, and not keeping it thinking that is wasota nichukuliaji, watana nibebaji. For you, by the time you are a nurse, to pursue this, comment yako, I'm sure one of the few things that was in your mind, I need to tell people this, that I'm thinking of doing this. And then once utaanza compare na opera, sijui anaanza compare sijui na nani, why should you do this? Will I get the best sound? Will I get... So all those things in your mind, you have to break them. And that process of you breaking them is the process of you becoming, Wow. So it's necessary for you to break all those things in your brain. So I took up those challenges. So then the community matters. But also community can only support once you come out.
Once you come out. Yeah, because I've met a lot of artists and who say that I've done this song, but it's hard. I take to different radio stations, TV stations, but I actually don't want to play my song. So what can we do?
Huyo si artist, wewe enda tu afanye kazi nyingine. Ajipe shughuli, aende chuo nini, aende study. Aende kwa engineer or something.
What?
Yeah.
But it does happen.
Once the thing burns in you, there's nothing is going to... There's no that will keep you.
So what should they do?
Kama ajui kitu kufanya, huyo jamaa aende tu afanye kitu kingine. Aende tu afanye kitu kingine. Aende ajipe shughuli. Once you have the thing, because even for somebody to come and want to help you,
yes,
they have to see the fire in your eyes. They have to see the fire in your eyes. You don't say no.
Are you listening? Unasikiza?
You don't say no. Ndio. And that's how, because think about it. So I grew up in Dandora. So Dandora inamaanisha, no money, haujui mtu yote.
Yes.
You only know wale watu, your friends.
Yeah.
So how do you talk from there to being a national artist?
Yes.
It's because, first of all, the fire burns so hot in you, yani. Mpaka other people see it and now they want to hold your hand.
I see that in you.
You know, and they want to just take you somewhere. It's like most of the, and I was telling a friend of mine, like most of the most memorable thing that ever happened in my life, from me getting signed to a UK label, to me getting concerts done, to Juliani, was just people saying, I want to do something for you, but I don't know what. And then they take you and become something else. But they have to see the fire in you. They have to see you trying. They have to see you. Nikaa ukipika ugali utaketua harufu ya ugali around, So that's how. So mtu yote anasema ana all the barriers. Huyo ni mtu aenda shughulika kitu kingine.
They shouldn't give up anyway.
Nobody should never, especially if it's something you believe in. And if you're really, really good, they can't ignore you. They can ignore you. I mean, they can't ignore you. They can dismiss you. Wanaweza sipendi sura yake, sipendi venye anavaa, but they can't ignore you if you're really, really good. So me, that's the only secret I had. Like I had to be really, really good. I had to practice every day for 6 hours.
Because for 6 hours every day.
Si ati nilikuwa na shughuli sana. I was at my mom's kiosk helping. Yes. So I had all the time to write and perform in front of the mirror. But ukiniona hivi, me perform, you really, really want, you're hooked. You might not like me, you might not, but you're hooked and you want to know more about this person. Yes. And that's how you ended up being known. Opportunities open up for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, where do you get this wisdom? Only on the Truth Talk. Wow. So you haven't had any challenges in the music industry?
No, any challenge that existed is me in my mind. It's me na mashida zangu. Because I'm the one who always disqualifying myself.
Yeah.
So if you're saying, me, I can't do that because me ni rapper. Me, I can't do that because I can't express myself, or that's a different and this I'm not saying the systematic issue I was talking about doesn't exist. That exists, but outside that, then whatever, me disqualifying myself every time, that's the only thing. That's the only thing that I've seen consistently putting me down if I'm being put down. But me, yeah.
But you have good friends surrounding you that really also give you that push. That Juliani, you can do this. Do you have that?
Yes. I have Boniface Mwangi, I had Nani. There was all these people that are really good friends. But the truth is, they have to see it in you first. Don't even to know where to do with you. No.
Yeah.
See, I don't say that because you're a friend. Because they see it in you, and they want to do something. No.
Wow.
They're the ones who speak on your behalf in spaces that you're not in.
Wow.
Because they see it in you. Yeah.
But did you have someone that you looked up to, someone that gave you advice, and apart from your friend, like someone you look up to?
Yeah, always.
When it comes to music.
That's why I'm big on community always. Because at first it was the Mau Mau camp, Kalamashaka, uko fulani, and then akina DJ Mo's, K Crew, my Bible studies, Juliani, and then I was Emmanuel Jal, he signed me, and now we're working together. And then I had a friendship with Bob Colimo, and then I had all these things. So at every place in my life, there's always a community and people who are watering and whatever. But the truth is, you have to show up, ndio ajitokeze.
You have to show up.
Ndio ajitokeze. Otherwise, haizi toka huko akam Dandora kukutafuta. It doesn't make sense, you know. When K Crew came to Dandora, they came all the way sijui kutoka wapi kukam Dandora kunitafuta.
Wow.
Because they had, tulisasikia ngoma huyu jamaa. You get?
Yes.
And that propelled me into another level. And then somebody else is another level.
But there was a time you had taken off music.
No, I've never.
You've never?
Hapo ndo mnatafuta unga Even too, maybe there's a time my music wasn't played as much on mainstream media.
Okay.
So there was a blacklist or something, apparently.
Oh, what caused that?
Kusema kweli sijui. Mimi najua tu kulikuwa na blacklist and people are not playing my music. I think because also my music, so people don't know where to place me. I do any place, mini secular, mini gospel, mini conscious, mini. So they don't know where to place me. So.
But where are you?
Siko popote.
Where can you place yourself?
Mimi pita katikati ya watu man. Siko pali, Because you're a human being and you're growing every day. There's a day like the person I was 5 years ago is not the person. The person I was yesterday is not the same person I am today. Because today I didn't come. This is not my normal routine.
But sometimes do you feel misunderstood?
Yeah, always. But
how do you deal with that?
So mkweli niliamua tu sio ndo aliniita. Ni Mungu aliniita and he is the one who, unaona, because myself also I'm figuring myself out. You know, I'm 40 years old now. So inamaanisha I'm consistently figuring myself out. But everything that I've ever done it was planted on me by God. So yeye aliniita and he sought. But of course, yes.
Yeah.
Like all through always I have to always explain myself. I always have to explain myself why we need to go this way. So what I decided, I don't explain myself nowadays. I just do things.
Yes, because you don't need to.
I just do things and then people catch up later. So all the social enterprises we tried, all the ideas we tried, I just do. Uzuri ni people always catch up.
Okay, you've talked about being an entrepreneur. How did you start that? It was, or rather, let me phrase it like this. So music, it does pay, yeah? And it is enough. It can be enough. So why did you go to entrepreneurship?
In the grand scheme of things, for the things, music is really good at inspiring. Yeah. But financially, worldwide that is, not just in Kenya.
Yes.
Financially, it's a really good business plan, a business card. It's not a good. Because you buy music when you're from a point of you're hot now and you're not wanaiona hivi. They don't see from this trajectory. Unaona. They always see uko na ngoma mpya au hauna ngoma mpya. Uko na you're the most popular song. Yeah. That's how they see things. So it's not worldwide though, that's a thing, you know. So it's not a thing at ni mbaya or good. So for me I realized that it's a good business card. I can use it to negotiate or leverage on it to get other things. Okay. But also I was curious about other things. I was curious about entrepreneurship. I'm curious about selling things. I'm curious about building things. Wow. So I was just curious. So everything else that I'm doing was based on curiosity. And that's what startup culture is, where you experiment, and if you find something works, you build a business around it. Wow. So, but also I realized when I was doing music, I used to work with I've worked with everybody, NGOs, whatever, corporate, and I realized if you do a business deal with them, it only lasts a year or 2 years. So sasa zile meshika wanakata budget. And then umepeleka watu projects. So I decided, let me just do the project myself, because I want, if I'm interested in farming and I want to take people around, like we were doing something in farming, going to a farming school, a really good campaign. So zile meshika wanakata budget. And then the campaign is ended. Na hiyo ndo sayo people asking questions, want to get involved and whatever. Yes. So we just decided, let me build institutions that can repeat the success that we built over time, that can carry on something beyond myself. Yes. So that's how I got into entrepreneurship and
Wow. How has that affected your life? And of course, I know you're of young people. I know you're dealing with a lot of young people. What are some of the testimonies that you can give? Or what have you seen?
So one of the things the project I did when I was growing up in the North, I really wanted to do something as far as build a community that I got, for example, from Ukoflani Momau. So when Ukoflani were dwindling, I wanted to build something also. So we went and bought some property, set up a center, a dam site huko. and it was running for more from 2015. Unfortunately, it was demolished juzi, the government last year. I mean.
No.
They said it was a story ndefu nilikach mbaya. But so before we built, when we were thinking of getting the space, there's a guy alikuwa anaitwa Dash Jonte. And alikuwa kwa dam site hapo. So I was bringing some friends, telling them I was thinking of building this place. Nini. So we got them in the dam site hapo. He started rapping. And then a year later, we bought the building. We started ilikuwa inaitwa Dandora Hip Hop City. So we set up the center. So Dash alikuwa anakam tu hapo diligently, anatoka. Over the years, he was just a timid guy. Young, ajui nini, scavenging. The parents come from that neighborhood. Years later, and he started taking responsibilities. So kita kufanya kitu, Dash uende kufanya hivi. Before you know it, Dash suandike ile proposal, we send it to that guy, whatever. Asijui kama ameenda shule, whatever. Right now, he runs a kids program that they got a funding for helping. Before they were helping a bigger number of young people, kids, but now they're helping 45 kids for a whole year after school programs, vitu kaa hizo.
Wow.
So just to see mse mmoja kama huyo, and I can talk about others, but Dash is the most, for me, because he's become of, anaji-express poa, he writes his own proposals, he can run a team, but I noticed he only became, the reason I'm confident about leadership and responsibilities is because I saw it in Dash. Dash was to do everything.
Wow.
There's a time he became the space manager in the whole thing. So it was a 3-story building. So ana manage kila mtu, ana manage our program. Yeah, so yes, that's how I think change can happen. But change can only happen in time, when you're patient with people. When you're patient with people, give them time to grow within themselves.
Wow, Juliani, that's very impressive.
Yeah.
Wow. Good job. But what has helped you to stay focused?
Njaa, niko njaa. Niko njaa. Lazima to make it. No, I just nikujochocha tu. I believe I have a lot to offer a lot of people. God amenibless sana.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm really blessed. So I have a lot to offer, and I'll still offer it. So I'll offer resources, I'll offer my ideas, I'll offer time, I'll offer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, a lot to offer. Guy. Hey, unajua kuna msana kuangalia anasema, Juliani. What unajua nini unaweza ambia kuna msana kucheki saa hii anaona Juliani God alimordain kutoka akiwa kwa his mother's womb, which is true. God knew you before you were born. He knew where you will be. Alafu kuna msee anajiangalia naona life hasn't been fair to me. Unaweza ambia Jumsi?
Only life is fair. So my favorite scripture ni Hebrews 2:8.
Hebrews 2:8.
Hebrews 2:8 says, so God was, the angels were talking amongst themselves, I think. And they were saying, they said, he's put everything under their feet. In putting everything under their feet, he left nothing that is not subject to them. He's put everything under their feet. So anaongea binadamu. He's put everything under the feet of the human being. In putting everything under them, God left nothing that is not subject to them. So inamaanisha wewe venye umechoose kujibeba sawa, but even though God anakuona. You know, anampatia dominion, anampatia kila kitu. You don't need to be a believer to see that.
Yes.
It's for you to embrace it.
Wow.
So I'll tell you I'm resourceful because that's how I see myself.
Wow.
I'll tell you I'm unique, I'm super creative.
Yeah, you are.
I solve problems because that's how I choose to see myself. Even if sometimes the reality might not be. Even if sometimes hauna dogo kwa mfuko ama you feel down. Ama things don't work the way you think it should. No. But when I listen to those scriptures, I realize that wow, so I choose to see myself a certain way, even if the world doesn't agree, even if sometimes I don't believe those things. but I choose to see myself that way. And so if you hang on those words, scripture, and I don't think you'll be stuck up there where you are.
So nowadays, how many hours do you put into your music?
Every day. I do every morning.
Every morning.
I write every morning. Even if it's one word.
One word.
I also write I share my thoughts on IG, so I kaleo nimkasijui sangapi, and then I had a thought, wrote it, and then posted it.
Wow.
So again, the vessel has to be ready for the oil ama for the pouring, So you have to be consistently prepared for the kumwagiwa.
But of course, 5 years to come, where will you be?
I'll be 45. I'll be 45.
Okay, in terms of, because I think somebody is looking at you and Juliani has everything when it comes to music, or what do you see? Do you see more?
No.
What do you see?
Whatever
Juliani?
I'm going to be in 5 years, I'll be in a good place.
You're in a good place.
I'll be in a good place because I know now I'm in a good place, because I'm not in control of now even, but whoever is in control, I've me in mind, So.
Okay, do you give young people advices, like if they want to start businesses, companies?
Sipendangi kuongea na young people don't like listening.
Okay.
Until they are ready. Yes.
Until they're ready.
Yeah,
okay, how will you know they are ready?
You will know. Young people don't like listening.
Utajuaje
You
they are
know.
ready?
You will see it. You will see the fire. Because even the advice I'm going to give you, it's only knowledge. Until you're ready for it, then it becomes wisdom.
So you don't do search for ramps?
No, I have things. I have a school into my Msanii Institute of Creatives.
Wow.
I do classes with that.
Yeah, all right.
I had the Dandora Hip Hop City. I have different things that I do. But I don't, nani shule, so it's a proper school because I believe in institutions more. But I like last year we had 4 students, wamelipa school fees, This year we can do more. But the truth is, I can only payuka. You have to see the value in it and convert it into a helpful tool or something.
So there are people who join the school but wanna do, but you sponsor them.
Na mika una do sikuje. I'm joking.
He's joking, guy, and a joke. Yeah.
Again, the reason even you put money into something is so that you put in it, and I learned this actually. It's your barrier. You put there's a name for it. So when you put money into something, it's a barrier somebody has to cross before you see how serious they are. So Mseki and realize there's some guy who really wanted to do the class. He said, "Hey bro, I'm willing to even volunteer to be taking your picture, video to offset that." That's how you know. You get, so you put it as a barrier to see what somebody is, are they willing? Because you see now when I really wanted to know how to rap when I was starting. So one of the guys I went Johnny K. Shaka. Johnny K. Shaka was he's still one of the, in my opinion, one of the best rappers. Just to be close to him, you have to just panguza kiatu yake tu. Just to be close to him. Anakutuma kwa duka. But the same fact that you're just close to him, for you, aangushe crumbs too of knowledge that you can use to advance yourself. So every time I say, this is a school, you have to pay full cost 50K for 3 months. Yes, I want you to pay the Nini payment parent. But the truth is, if somebody really want to learn and want to become whatever, you'll see it. And then the barrier won't be a barrier. They will always find a way around it. Wow. Ooh.
Juliani, please tuangushie tu rap moja kabla tumalize moja tu kaka kapela. We can't wait.
Hey, akapela ndangu.
Akapela. Acha tusikize. Na to jump. You guys.
Siwezi jump
At least I have the
sana.
right here. I can be able to back you up.
Milioni from 10 bob. Nilitoa wapi extra zeros? Jiulize mbona donut ina shimo. Shingo short kati ya mfuko. Do ni legal. Dish ni rooftop. Ya DSTV siya kuangusha dish distinct. Vampire vegetarian, whiteheads, non-believers, walituita high class. Soma college ya night club. Result slip, adetermine pay slip. Toka niwe fetus, mpaka penye nimefika. God's finger, ime move strings. Walitudharau. Aha. Yeah. At least you anajua.
Wow. You know, there's this Utawala song, eh? But the way before we end the show, how did it come?
It was there's a guy who wanted me to do a song.
Okay.
Before election.
Yes.
So they commissioned me to do a song. So they call me, I call my producer in the house, we set up. But the night before the recording, so I started getting this melody in my brain, you know, like humming. So the next day, the melody didn't. Normally, ukiota ama ukiwa, you always forget the harmony, whatever, or the melody. So the melody stuck.
Wow.
Yeah, so when we were in the studio, nilikuwa na idea, and then we started toying with the melody. So and then you put words in it, inagonga mawe, you put a different word all together, and then in 30 minutes or so, we had the song, the beat, and we sent it to the guy who commissioned it. And then it was during election, so they were using as a bed.
Yeah.
When they're announcing the results.
Yes.
Election results. So they played it a lot. So people actually thought it was an old song. Yeah, some Kenyan old song. This is inaitwaje hizo? Hizo ngoma za kitambo. So people, because of the melody, they thought it was an old song somewhere.
Yeah.
So I mean, it caught on, and people eventually realized that actually it was my song. And so even I know DJ Pinye, the first time he heard it and called me and said, "Hey, niaje, najua umeiba hii ngoma wapi?" Najua nimeiba hii ngoma umeiba na ndakutafuta nikuletee. And then I said, sawa, ile sikutaleta niletee.
Yes.
And we made a bet. Ajai kuja mpaka
sai.
Because there is no, so it was a melody that stuck in my brain before, a day before we recorded. Yeah, and then it can happen.
Wow, that song really made sense.
Yeah.
And then the timing. Like, I'm like, what?
Hiyo ni Mungu tu aliamua. No, I think one of the, so that's why I told you, I try to write every day, you know, so that you never know when God will drop there. Atakudropia kakitu hapo.
Yes.
So you're always ready to. Because anazaamua leo ndio siku yako anakurusha ingine, unaona. So you have to always be ready for him to. You have to be vigilant, for him to drop something for you if he so wishes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when is the next hit?
You can't decide which is the next thing. When and the only thing, you can just be diligent in what you do.
In what you do.
Just be diligent.
You know, Julia, I've been listening to you, and you know the wisdom you're spitting out. The really godly Christian, you know, you're really deep, eh? Are you really a Christian? I want to, uliniambia uko hapa, but I want to get it, because your religion background actually it speaks more. And even what you're saying, you can't even help it. Whatever you're just speaking, it's it's godly, it's biblical.
Yeah, my foundation, my parents were Catholic. I was really into godliness.
Yes.
I've tried to study other religions. Buddhism na vitu kama hizo. And I find words to express what I think more from the Bible.
Yes.
And I'm inclined towards the Bible more than.
Wow.
Wow. But the reason I'm saying, I mean, yes, I want to say I'm a Christian, but the reason I'm trying to avoid that kidogo ni and I don't know how to put this. is that God is so big and God is so huge beyond our two things to define him, unaona. You get, like, we have put up things to try to confine God to what we think he should be.
Yeah.
So in Christianity tunamweka hapo, so that's how you behave. So when I was in Kilifi for like a week to see family and stuff. And then so nikajipata kwa beach, short, mguu tupu, nywele langu sikuwa nimetengeneza, so nilikuwa nakaa beach boy sana. And then so I just start there in stillness, yani. And then somehow my attention was drawn to godness, unaona. And then everywhere I turned I saw God, unaona, from your fish chini ama zile zoo crawl inaitwangaje, crabs juu nini huko ndani huko, from trees, and then the wind. Yani hata even if we cannot fathom how great whoever we say God is.
Wow.
Like we can't put him anywhere. So when every time you say you are a Christian, you're reducing him to that. You're reducing him to your title so that you feel good about where, you know. It means you're even limiting him to what you think he can do. Wow. Unaona, because wewe unasema juu umejua kusema wewe ni Christian, first of all utasema na need kuomba 5 times a day ndio God atende. And maybe sometimes you just say God tender, unaona. Like because I didn't pray today, I feel God won't hear my prayer. So because of all those, I didn't read the Bible today. God is not close. So we put all those things to limit God on what he can be for us, unaona. And so that's why I always kidogo sitaki niseme mimi ni Mkristo sana, because I'm trying to prevent myself from doing the same thing we've been doing every time. Seeing that problems are problems, seeing that just because your prayer wasn't answered, that God wasn't there. Your minute prayers and your minute problems, as equal, life didn't go the way you planned, so now it means God is not in your life. So that's why I believe in Christ. I believe in God.
Amen.
I believe that God, I'm here because of him. But I will never let myself come on the way of that. Because he trust ka binadamu sana.
Wow. You know, even the Bible says that our God is great, and is greatly to be praised. His greatness is unsearchable. You cannot fathom his greatness. He's a big God. Hata wezi za explain. So that one,
we can never, man.
that one is a plus.
We put him to so when kuna so if okay, let me just use the Bible kidogo. Unaona venye Maisraeli walikuwa wanapewa mana, they were being dropped for mana, si ndio? Si wao walikuwa na ficha zingine, juu hajui kesho kutamkaje. So hiyo ni ana thinking ya jana on his survival in his whatever. Unaona, so ana limit God and what God is. So you're always coming on the way of what God is and who he can be in your life. Unaona. So actually, and that's why I told you. Let's say I'm doing a concert in a few more weeks, and I did some concert previously that were not successful. So now you know what I normally as a human being you do. You use those experiences. It tampers and it poisons how you think. Right. This other time, unaona.
Yeah.
So you can never use. We are always on the way. So I'm trying to use we are always on the way of God. So I will never, I will try my level best not to be on the way of who God is and what he can be.
You allow him to do what he wants to do with your life. His will to be done.
Surrender.
Surrender.
Just surrender. And then unakaa tu fala hapo.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
I bet that's what has kept you going.
Kukaa fala. Nafanya fala.
I think kuna scripture ka hiyo kwa Bible. Like being a fool,
Yeah, kwa fool is the best thing ever. It's the best strategy ever.
Yeah. I'm getting excited because I'm so happy. Oh my God, this is so good, Juliani. This is so good. Because we're bringing light. Even the Bible says we are the salt of the world. Like you manifest Christ. Even with what you believe, what you do. Sometimes you don't even need to speak. You're just manifesting Christ and who He is in your life. So Juliani, keep on manifesting Christ.
Amen.
Because you alone, you know, mali amekutoa, mali amekupeleka, where you're going, you see clearly. This is more than a testimony. I'm too happy. Thank you so much for accepting to sit on the Truth Talk.
I feel like I think we have to distinguish between when we talk about suffering, and we have to always distinguish between the environment and suffering within.
Okay.
So we agree that every time you have a suffering outside yourself, it's the government's fault. And not Juliani only true, and there's evidence all over. There's people making wrong decisions, selfish decisions, to hurt you, to make you poor, to make you whatever. But if they can do that in your environment, please don't allow anybody to do the same inside of you. So mbio ndio kitu. Unaweza nifunga, unaweza nifanya nini, and you can only create a bad environment for me. But I will never allow anybody to create a bad environment inside of me, So that's how I see it.
Wow.
So I wake up every morning in bliss, in joyfulness, in whatever, because whoever is in me is bigger than whoever is in the world.
Yes, exactly.
So I hold that true to myself every morning, and before I sleep, lazima.
Wow. Yeah, He's greater than that is in the world. Wow. Oof. Hi. Hey, I loved what you said before we finished, that you are enough. Do you ever ask yourself whether you are enough? Or you look down upon yourself? You judge yourself, you condemn yourself. Oh, that was deep. Yeah? Now, make a decision today. Wake up. Wake up. Say that you're enough. You're wonderfully and beautifully made. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. You've just heard a big testimony from a big person. And if you not learn now, I doubt you will ever learn. May God bless you so much. Don't fail to like, share, and subscribe. We love you so much. And as we promise, we always bring you nothing but the best. We have the best today. God bless you. Bye-bye. See you next time. Hey, thank you.